Good morning. Jocelyn Briggs here for another move session. It's a little blustery out this morning. Excuse me. I'm not complaining. We'll be warm in just a couple moments, I'm sure. Get my clock going here. I'm actually loving this weather, but it is definitely feeling like September today, which I think many of us were looking forward to, although it's bittersweet, isn't it? Like, so many of us love fall, I think, love the cooler temperatures and just the beauty of fall, but then it's like bittersweet because the summer's ending. So there's a little bit of a sadness. Summer's ending, kids are going back to school. You know, like the loosey-goosey-ness of summer is over, which is probably good. All right, let's get started here. Take my sweatshirt off. The loosey-goosiness of summer, we'll call it you know, they're just relaxed, the relaxed atmosphere, the relaxed pace of summer comes to an end and we have to get back to the grind. Some of us appreciate that and enjoy, because we're ready to kind of tighten things up and reset. September is the new year, they say in my business, and I love that because it does almost feel like a second January, which is interesting because January is only like a few months from now, but anyway. So, like, let me know in the comments, do you love September? Do you love the fall? Or do you hate the end of summer? For me, I'm kind of torn, right? Like, I hate what comes after fall. I don't love the winter. I don't love the thoughts of winter. I used to love the holiday season. I used to love Christmas. I mean, I still do, but I dread the winter, right? So... anyways, here we are at September 2nd. It feels like September 2nd. It feels like the fall. If you are joining me for the first time, I just want to remind, or if you're joining me again, but you're new, I just want to remind you to take it easy, to go at your own pace, to allow the moves to come out, right? Like, allow your body to warm up, allow the blood flow to get started, allow your mind to warm up to the workout. I'm going to offer lots of options, always offer lots of options for you. So if you're brand new and just starting with me, know that these workouts are designed for anybody to do. My goal is to get you moving. My goal is to get you plugged into a community and have you feel like you're part of a community of people who understand you, right? Like, if you go back to my very first move session of this series, which was in January, it was called 6 Weeks of Will, I talk a lot about not wanting to do it or not knowing how to get started, or just the feelings that we go through when we know we need to make the changes, we know we need to do something, but we don't want to for one reason or another. And it's taken me about 5 months to get to the point where I feel like, okay, this is what I'm doing now, and I'm feeling some results, and I'm feeling good about myself. And anyways, long-winded way of just saying, take everything at your own pace. Modify anything you need to, and take breaks anytime you need to. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit now. I'm going to add a little hop. I need to warm up. It's cold. It's actually cold. I ran already this morning. I was not cold while I was running, but in my backyard it's a little chillier than it was out in the world. So add a hop if you're ready, but if you're not, you can stay with the marches. We do 3 rounds of warm up, and the first round is always low, no impact, because I want you to feel good as you get started. One of the things I've learned over the years is that if I allow myself to take the workout at my own pace in the beginning, it's a lot easier to get myself to start. It's the same thing with my runs. If I allow myself even to walk for a few minutes before I start, or to run as slowly as I feel like I need to, within a few minutes or within a kilometer or two, I feel better. And it usually, I call it letting the run coming out of us. And it's the same thing with a workout or a move session. If you can take it as easy as you need to, as long as you need to into the workout will come to you. If you force it before your body's really ready, it's unpleasant. It's not. And then I feel like over time, your mind knows how unpleasant it feels to start. And so you build up this resistance to doing it. And then it's hard each day to start your workout or I like to call them move sessions, because your mind is in the way, right? And so it helps me get out the door, helps me get started if I just say, hey, you're just going to take it as easy as you need to, and take the time at the beginning of the workout, the beginning of the run, the walk, whatever you're doing, to be aware and take note of how do you feel today, right? Are you tired? Are you lethargic? Are you sore? Are you stiff? Are you run down? Did you not sleep well? Or do you feel fantastic and you're like, yeah, this is going to be a good day. I'm going to crush this workout. And often I surprise myself, like often the days that I feel like it's going to be really bad ends up being a lot better than I thought. And conversely, the days that I think are going to be a good day, sometimes those are the surprise bad days. So it is what it is. And the goal really is to move through it anyway. Move through it, releasing any judgment or criticism of how you're executing. So I posted a quote yesterday. I had a lot of feedback. A lot of people messaged me saying that it really resonated. And it was something along the lines of, don't let perfection be the enemy of good, and don't let good be the enemy of okay. Meaning, we often choose between all and nothing, right? So if the task isn't going to be done perfectly in our minds, we just don't do it. So if you can't do a 45-minute workout, you skip that day. If you can't do, a 5K run, you skip that day. Instead of saying, well, I can't do a 45-minute workout, but I could do a 10-minute workout or 5-minute workout, but we kind of make perfection the enemy in that if I'm only going to do a 5-minute workout, what's the point? And so then we accumulate all these days of doing nothing when all those days of 5 minutes would have added up to something substantial, in fact, I think. I feel like I forgot something because, anyways, it doesn't matter. So something that I'm really trying to work on right now is that mindset of just get out there and do it. And be aware, right, of how it is, right? Like be aware of the fact that, yeah, that was an ugly one today, but it still got done. But don't judge. So good can also be the enemy of okay, meaning, again, we can settle to a certain degree, but to a certain degree we start to feel like the effort is futile and we just dismiss it altogether, when doing a little something can wind up going a long way. And that's the kind of mentality I'm personally working on adopting, both in all areas of my life, even in my business. Last month it was a slower month in my business. It's been a while since I've had a slower month. It's been a really busy summer, and my impulse was initially, oh, everything's going to the toilet, everything's falling apart. Like, no, it's just a slow month. And then my next inclination was to do nothing, right? Like to pull back, and I realized it's the perfect time to practice the some is better than none thing. So all right, so grab a drink. All you're gonna need today is a weight, if you have one weight, and if you have a stability ball, I'm gonna be using the stability ball for some of the exercises. If you don't have one, you can do anything that I'm doing without the stability ball. If you're new, or if you're a beginner, or if you're just getting started, or you're just getting back into it, then don't use the ball. And in fact, you can not use the weight either. So those are your two options today. And today is the final day. So we're gonna need our weight for the first round. Today is our final day of manage the damage. Okay, so we're gonna start with TH jacks. Today is the final day of Manage the Damage Summer Wellness Series. And the whole point of that series was exactly what we just talked about. It was about helping us stay plugged in through the summer, helping us not go off the rails. The fact is, oh, I forgot to change the timer, so hang on one sec, sorry. I was like, that's a really long 20 seconds. Give me one more. So the point was, yeah, like to still enjoy the summer. Give ourselves grace to loosen up a little bit, to maybe not live so strictly. If you are somebody who's always, trying to follow a diet or trying to, exercise. Okay, so we're going to burpees with or without a weight. So we did these yesterday. Those of you who did my workout yesterday, we're doing them again because I wanted to. But you can do regular burpees. You can do low impact burpees, which is just the burpee without the hops. So you can just kind of go up, down, step back, and up if you want to do. Okay, so TH jacks again. So manage the damage was essentially just that, managing the summer damage, because I've been doing this long enough that I've recognized the patterns that most of us have. And what most of us do is, June is the month that we're so excited that warm weather is here, and we're barbecuing, and we're having, a little bit more beverages. Days are longer, so we're staying up later, which means sometimes we sleep in a little bit longer. By July, school is done, we're going to barbecues, we're going to the cottage, we're camping. Often, all of that includes maybe more eating, more drinking, sometimes less exercise, even though it's summer. And so what I decided at the beginning of the summer in May was, I know this is going to happen. I want to enjoy my summer. I want to enjoy barbecues. I want to enjoy summer, nights on the patio having some beverages. I want to enjoy staying up later because my boys play baseball or whatever, or we're at a friend's house. But I don't want to lose I didn't want to kind of negate the hard work I had done between January and June. I didn't want to go off the rails completely. I wanted to kind of keep one one foot still in the game. And so I decided to create the program Manage the Damage, and it was about mitigating. So it was about that exact philosophy that don't let perfection be the enemy of good, and don't let good be the enemy of okay. And so for the summer, the goal was good or even just okay. I was okay with just okay to get me to the end of summer. Well, lo and behold, I got this burst of motivation in August because my husband and I have a trip booked, the first trip in a long time, at the end of, no, at the end of October. Who knows at this point if we're going to be able to go, but anyways, we're not going to talk about that at the moment. We're going to say that we're going. And so I realized I have 90 days to get out of okay mode and into maybe good mode. And so August 1st I decided to cut out alcohol, wine, and chips. And that was the goal. That was really just the goal. It's like just cut out wine and chips. That's going to hopefully over 90 days. Hopefully over 90 days get me to where I want to be. Hopefully get me fitting back into some clothes that I was not fitting into. That was the goal. And somehow, for some reason, it's wild how our mind works sometimes, because I didn't anticipate any of this. I cut out wine. I was expecting it to be very difficult because wine is and it's summer, you guys. Like, it's summer. All right, we're gonna do jack punches. Lots of jacks here. If you're feeling really good and you want to increase the intensity, you can go to jack squats like that. If you need low impact, it looks like this. If you're just starting and you need low impact. Okay, we're using the weight again or not, depending what you want. So I was saying about the patterns, but what we tend to do, so we're doing what I call clocks. So we're in a squat and we're gonna bring the weight up and around. You wanna be in a squat, not bending. And then picture the hands of a clock. Your arms are the hands of the clock and they're gonna go around. You don't wanna bend, you wanna squat. So you can do this without a weight. You're just gonna touch the ground and do a big circle with your hands, picturing your arms and hands as the arms and hands of a clock going all the way around. So the cycle of summer, I didn't finish it off because August, I decided it was reset time. It was a month before the rest of the world. I cut out wine because I was on a time, like I had 90 days. And I know, I talked about this yesterday, I believe. Too often, we want complete transformation in a month. Like we're like, have you ever done this? Have you ever said to yourself, like, okay, I'm going away in March, right? I have a holiday booked in March. I gotta get in shape. And it's like February. Like, I've had clients so often, even January, like, unless you're like 20, 25, and your body responds like instantly to everything you do, we need to give ourselves, I think, 90 days. 90 days is the, oh, don't you love this like sun coming in here? 90 days is, so August 1st I had 90 days. So I had to start early. But most people, and I saw this because my business is health and wellness, and I sell health and wellness products, and most of the world went off the grid in August. And actually, my sister has a pretty strong online presence. She's now got her own interior design company, which you should check her out. Her name is Keegan Mackenzie, and on Instagram she's Mackenzie Designs. She initially started with furniture refinishing. So she started several years ago. It was called Lemon Drops Reclaimed, and she refinished furniture. And I know a lot of people do that these days. She has a serious talent for it, and her imaging and her Instagram are beautiful. So check her out. But she's evolved into doing full-on design, and her goal is to get into full renovation projects. With her husband, who's a plumber, she's very lucky. Her husband's very handy. Anyway, she also said the world just was under a rock in August. It's crazy. Okay. Next up, I'm just looking at my list. How's everybody doing right now? How are you guys doing? Those of you who do these workouts on YouTube, don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments. Tell me how you did today. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how long you've been working out for with me. Is this your first move session that you're doing with me, or have you been doing them since 6 weeks of Will? Okay. All right, ready? So we're going into plank jacks next. So I want you to focus on your butt is not doing this. You want your butt down. And this is what low impact is going to look like. Okay, next up we're going to do spider planks. We're going to go between, we're morphing into cardio and core now. So back into plank position, you're going to bring your knee to your elbow. Same thing, make sure that back is nice and long and straight. Make sure your gaze, your eyes are in front of you. So those of you who've been doing move sessions with me, some of you have probably been managing the damage. I know some of you are doing way better than that. Yvonne has joined me in my 90-day challenge, and she has cut out not just alcohol, but pop. She's a pop drinker, and she cut out both for the 90 days. I keep telling her, like, that is going to have such a massive impact on her health, like, unbelievable. It's day 33 today of 90 with no alcohol and no chips for me. And I was sharing yesterday how my resting heart rate has dropped probably about 8 beats. Probably more, really, because when I monitored it, it was late in the day, and really the best time to check your resting heart rate is first thing in the morning. Or if you have a fancy watch that monitors your sleep, you're probably going to find your lowest heart rate during the night within your sleep. These are killing me. My arms. And I attribute that to not just my training, because when I cut out wine, I got this burst of motivation to start running again. I never stopped running, but I dramatically reduced it. And I'm not even I'm not even exaggerating when I use the word dramatically. It was highly reduced from what I used to run. And I kind of think of it as just hanging in there. But I cut out wine and replaced it with a lot of running, which is interesting. To me, that just sort of happened. Oh. Anyways, shout out to Yvonne, shout out to Betty, who has done every single move session with me since 6 weeks of Will. Unbelievable that she's done that. And she's feeling like $1 million bucks. Dawn Denoto has been doing these sessions. She's on holidays this week. Whew, and that is a wrap on that one. I gotta shout her out. She's been so consistent. But if you haven't been consistent, if you've been off the wagon, if you've been summering too much, that's okay. September is the new year. September is a great time to restart, to plug back in, or to just to start. And my biggest advice to you, if you are that person, is start slow. Don't, like, one of the things I recommend is join me for the warm-ups. Just do the warm-ups with me, which is about 10 minutes. I can't stress enough the impact that small efforts make consistently over time, right? The ones that we will completely dismiss and cast aside as being irrelevant and, you know, unproductive, unyielding. Okay, we're going to be pulling out squat press. So we're going to grab our weight, we're going to do a squat, and we're going to press the weight. You want to use your legs to drive that weight up, your legs and your core. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to do plank rockers on the ball, but you can do them on the ground. So you're going to be plank on your elbow and you're going to rock back and forth. If you have a ball, it makes it a lot harder. If you don't have a ball, or if you're beginning, don't do these if you're just starting or if you're not ready yet. So you're just rocking back and forth. I'll do the next one on the ground so you can see the difference. The ball is a way of increasing the difficulty if you're ready. Okay, so squat, press. So butt is dropping in between the legs. Okay, see how I'm not bending, driving the knees out at about a 45-degree angle. Those knees should track right over your toes. So I'm going to try to do this on the wood planks here. So you're going to be on your elbows and you're going to rock back and forth like so. So this is the modification. And then, you know, another modification if this is too hard is just to hold plank. Okay? Whatever your level is wherever you're at, or wherever you're at today is perfectly fine. Work within your where you're at. With fitness, less is always more, right? Because one of the big things that we're trying to manage, if you're trying to make a difference in your health, whether it's from a weight loss perspective, or whether it's from a training perspective, like maybe weight loss isn't what you're after, but you're after, you know, getting in shape, getting stronger, getting fitter. It's always best to do less and recover quickly than to do more and build, like, have a deficit almost of ability to recover, right? So if you do too much too soon and you're not able to recover between the sessions, like fully, you compound that stress, you build that stress up, and especially if you're a female in your 40s plus, or if you carry stress from other areas of your life, perhaps your job, your family. There's a lot of reasons to be stressed these days. That stress compounds and it causes inflammation in your body. I mean, mental stress causes inflammation, and the game is really a game of management of inflammation. That is really what we're up against. So whether your challenge is losing weight, right? Whether your challenge is, a lot of people battle things like IBS, like fibromyalgia, like a number of inflammatory-based illnesses. Oh, that's it for that one. That one went fast. Inflammation in our world today, inflammation is really our biggest enemy that we're battling, that's probably holding us back from wherever you're stuck right now. And so if we can manage the inflammation, we're going to get the results that we want a lot faster. So if it's weight loss, often the inflammation in the body is the cause of the weight gain, and potentially the factor that limits you in losing the weight. And a lot of that can be actually influenced via diet, but and that's why diet really one of the reasons, not the only reason. Okay, we're going to side plank lifts next, and I'm cursing myself for not bringing a mat out. I'm actually gonna use my jacket here. So,
activity completed.
Okay. Just want to put this under my elbow. All right, let's go. Plank lifts next. Okay, so we're going to be in a side plank formation, and we're going to do lifts. Again, there's multiple ways you can do these. You can hold plank. One of the ways you can make this easier is by putting that top leg in front. Okay, and if you choose to make it harder, you can lift that top leg. I'm not going to be doing that today. Today, plank lifts are good enough for me. Another thing you could do is hold a weight if you wanted. You want to make sure that your form is good in this one, and what I mean by that is, if you I always say picture a wall in front of you and a wall behind you closing in on you, and you want to be able to allow those walls to come right up against you, right? So if you are in a C formation, those walls are going to get right, so you don't want your hips back. You want to look like a plank. Your body should be like a plank, from head down the spine to the legs. Just a little pulse with the core. So if weight management is an issue, the sad reality is that, I say this as a trainer and a runner, we can't out-exercise a bad diet. Most of our results come from what we eat. So if you have, a significant amount of inflammation in the body, that's going to impact your body's ability to do anything, essentially, right? So how can you manage inflammation? So one of the reasons I said Yvonne is going to experience such massive changes over the 3 months is the pop or sugary drinks. In my household, I get a lot of pushback because my husband was a pop drinker. He's not. He actually cut pop out a couple years ago. But my thing is like, no sugary drinks. So sugary drinks are juice, pop, sports drinks often, energy drinks, pumpkin spice lattes are a sugary drink, right? All of those things contain, you know, an enormous amount of sugar, and so you want to be mindful of that in your intake, especially if inflammation's an issue. Sugar, at the end of the day, sugar really is one of the biggest culprits. And one of the misnomers of the ketogenic movement that I think is a little bit sad is that we've cut out some things that have sugar in it. They're actually good, right? Like fruits, especially fruits high in antioxidants. Like a lot of our antioxidants come from berries. So we want that type of thing. What we want to cut out is sugary drinks. I think that was it. Waiting for the thing. That was it. Flour-based products. So anything that's made with refined processed flours, baked goods, breads, pastas, crackers, you know, a lot of granola bars or I said to a client the other day, if it comes in a wrapper, try to omit it, right? But if you can sort of get control of the inflammation, which is inflammation is going to emerge one way or another. My 20-year-old daughter doesn't eat the best. Trying to help her, but at 20, almost 21 years old, she's had acne for the last year. But she also struggles with a histamine issue.
Activity completed.
All right, last one is plank and boat. So I'm going to plank on the ball, and you can plank on the ground. So whatever, pick your poison, pick your plank. And that is the inflammation. So the inflammation in your body from your diet, from stress, from lack of sleep, from exercise, and that's why this whole conversation began, was because exercise is good for us, movement is good for us, but we have to be mindful of the inflammation recovery, right? We want to exercise. So if you can create movement in your life, you know, like walking is amazing, because walking can be very cathartic. Walking outside, walking on the trails, there's actually like studies that show that the trails are useful for mental therapeutic purposes. So you can then, you're actually almost killing two birds with one stone, because you're getting the movement in, but you're also reducing stress, reducing anxiety, improving mental health. So thereby, like, reducing probably inflammation at the same time as increasing movement, right? Yoga, strength training is a great one, right? Because strength training is often not going to increase cortisol levels. It's the cardio that you have to worry about. So this, again, can be done without the ball. The lower you go, the harder it is. If you are using the ball, I want you to squeeze it because you're going to engage your inner thighs and your lower core just a little bit more. So what is an anti-inflammatory diet? So we talked about sugary drinks. Honestly, I think it can be so simple that we can't even comprehend just how simple healthy eating can be. We were like, no, that's too easy. It's got to be more complicated than that, and then we complicate the heck out of it. It's as simple as eating single ingredient foods. If you can start there, right? If you can start by cutting out anything that comes in a wrapper, cutting out sugary drinks, and just focus at least 80% of your diet on whole single ingredient foods. So eggs, avocado, potatoes, meat, fruits, veggies, right? And someone says, oh, but you know, I'm on the run, like I'm on the go, like I need stuff that I can take with me. Nuts, right? Cheese, if you can get, you know, minimally processed cheese, but like obviously not Kraft singles. Mary's crackers are one of the few like crackers that I would actually recommend. You can make muffins and you can make like cookies with literally 3 ingredients. Like, there's so many recipes that is like basically oats, banana, and not sure what the 3rd ingredient is, but you know, avoiding the flours, but just sticking to single ingredient foods for 80% of your diet. Your body now recognizes what it's eating. It knows what to do with it. It can use the nutrients in it for goodness. Is that it? That was it. All right, so we just have a couple of things left and we're done for today. We have push-ups. Lord help us. All right, let's start with our push-ups. Push-ups, glute bridges. That's it. 2 things to do and then we're done. If we can keep it that simple, and then minimize or cut out alcohol, I mean, that's a whole nother story. And I know, trust me, I'm fine with it now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm fine with it now, but it took me months and months and months to get to the point of being fine with it. So I don't blame you if you don't want to cut out alcohol, but start with the whole foods thing and start by cutting out sugary drinks, which I know is very hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo, that's a wrap. That is a wrap for Manage the Damage. That is a wrap for Manage the Damage Summer Wellness Series. We are going to start, September is the new year next week. So same-ish, different name. Same deal, different name. That's all. So have an awesome weekend. Thank you for those of you who joined me. If you are seeing this on YouTube, please leave me a comment. I would love to connect and just cheer you on towards your goals. Have an awesome day.